Are you looking for some high dividend stocks in 2021? Well, in this video, I'm going to feature 15 stocks that pay a high dividend over 5%. All right, so with that out of the way, stocks offer investors like you and me the ability to build wealth. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about income stocks with a yield over 5%. If you've seen one of my videos before, thank you so much for watching me again. Hey, I really do appreciate it. And if you haven't seen me before, my name is Rick Orford, author of The Financially Independent Millennial. And if you happen to like personal finance videos like this one, now is a great time to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because that way you'll never miss one of my future videos. Also, this video is brought to you by Sure Dividend. Sure Dividend helps investors find high income securities for their retirement and financial freedom portfolios. And the Sure Dividend newsletter analyzes their top 10 high quality dividend growth stocks each and every month. Now, folks, stay tuned, because I'm going to be giving you a coupon code for a nice discount on that newsletter. Income investors are always looking for high dividend yields, but with stock prices at or near record highs in July 2021, the average S&P 500 dividend yield is just 1.5%. And with interest rates near historic lows, income investors are starved for yield. So it's obvious that investors like you and I are looking for higher yields. However, investors should also try and make sure a company's dividend payout is sustainable. The worst outcome for an income investor is to buy a high dividend stock that later cuts its payout. Not only does this result in a loss of income, but the stock prices usually tank after a dividend reduction, often leading to very poor shareholder returns. All right, so let's begin. As of July 12, 2021, the following 15 stocks have yields above 5% and a higher level of dividend safety when it comes to high-yielding stocks. The stocks in this video are ranked in order of dividend yield from the lowest to the highest. So yes, folks, you guys are going to have to wait till the end of the video to watch for the highest dividend stock. All right, so number one on my list of high dividend stocks in 2021 is Whitestone, a retail REIT that owns about 58 properties with about 5 million square feet of gross leasable area, primarily in top US markets of Texas and Arizona. Its tenant base is very diversified with nearly 1,400 tenants, and the top 5 industries are restaurant and food service, grocery, financial services, salons, and medical and dental. During the pandemic, the REIT rightly halted acquisitions and development projects and reduced expenses as it focused on improving its financial position and liquidity. Then, in February of 2021, Whitestone increased their dividend, which is a very good sign. And today, Whitestone pays a high dividend of around 5.2%. Number two on the list of high dividend stocks is WP Carey, a commercial real estate focused REIT that operates in two segments: real estate ownership and investment management. The REIT operates more than 1,200 single tenant properties on a net lease basis across the United States and Northern and Western Europe. Its asset management business has assets under management of approximately $2.8 billion. In the first quarter of 2021, revenue increased to $311.2 million. Growth is fueled by investments in new properties, and since 2012, the REIT invested more than $10 billion into new assets by either purchasing entire REITs through single asset or portfolio purchases. And WP Carey is currently paying a dividend of around 5.4%. Number three on my list of high dividend stocks in 2021 is Exxon Mobil, a blue chip stock operating as an integrated energy giant with a market cap of over $250 billion. And folks, by the way, here's a video about blue chip stocks that you might want to take a look at. Exxon Mobil operates upstream exploration and production activities, as well as a downstream refining and marketing segment. The company was hit particularly hard during the pandemic, and in 2020, the company reported a $22 billion loss. But oil prices have risen quite well in 2021, and energy stocks like Exxon Mobil are doing really well. In the first quarter of 2021, Exxon grew its total production by 3%. And the price of oil rallied thanks to the deep production cuts of OPEC and Russia, while refining and chemical margins improved. As a result, Exxon Mobil's adjusted earnings per share rose to 65 cents in the first quarter, from 3 cents a share in the same quarter last year. And their current dividend yield is about 5.7%. Next on the list of high dividend stocks is Universal Corporation, the world's largest leaf tobacco exporter and importer. The company is the wholesale purchaser and processor of tobacco that operates between farms and the companies that manufacture cigarettes, pipe tobacco, and cigars. In the most recent quarter, Universal's revenue declined 2% to $620 million. Revenue decline was due to falling leaf tobacco volumes, and still, adjusted earnings per share increased 36% to $2.15. Investors own tobacco stocks mostly for their stable dividends, and Universal is no exception. The stock currently yields 5.7%, and the company has increased its dividend for 50 consecutive years, placing it on the exclusive list of dividend kings. Wondering what's a dividend king? Well, folks, check out this video, and I'll tell you all about it. Number 5 on the list is PPL Corporation, a company that owns and distributes power to more than 10 million people in the United States and the United Kingdom. Its U.S. operations are spread across Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Virginia, and Tennessee. It also has nearly 8 million UK customers. Now, this is a period of transition for PPL. On March 18, 2021, PPL announced that it was selling its UK business to National Power Grid plc for £7.8 billion. This divestiture should occur by month's end, this month in July of 2021. PPL announced first quarter earnings results on June 5, 2021. On an adjusted basis, revenue grew 4% to $1.5 billion, and the dividend on its common stock is now about 5.9%. Number 6 on the list of high dividend-paying stocks in 2021 is Kinder Morgan, one of the largest energy companies in North America. It's engaged in storage and transportation of oil and gas and other products. It owns an interest in or operates approximately 83,000 miles of pipelines and 144 terminals. Its pipelines transport natural gas, refined petroleum products, crude oil, carbon monoxide, and more. Kinder Morgan's transport assets operate kind of like a toll road, whereby the company receives a fee for its services, which generally avoids commodity price risks. Approximately 90% of Kinder Morgan's cash flow is fee-based. Kinder Morgan expects to produce a net income of between $2.7 billion and $2.9 billion, and distributable cash flow of $5.3 billion. And to investors like you and me, well, that means a dividend yield of about 5.9%. New York Community Bank Corp is number 7 on the list and is the parent of a state-chartered bank called New York Community Bank. The wholly owned subsidiary owns 238 branches in New York, New Jersey, Ohio, Florida, and Arizona. The bank focuses on multifamily loans in New York City, particularly in buildings that are rent-controlled. That book of business is about 3/4 of its entire lending portfolio. And in the most recent quarter, New York Community Bank reported assets of more than $50 billion and 27% revenue growth due to a 30% growth in net interest income. Now, future growth will also come from acquisitions. The company also announced that in late April, it was buying Flagstar Bancorp in an all-stock transaction with an implied value of $2.6 billion. And New York Community Bank is currently paying a high dividend of over 6%. By the way, guys, if you think that 6% is a high dividend, go ahead and give me a thumbs up on this video. All right, so number 8 on the list is Landmark Infrastructure Partners, another high dividend paying stock that provides real estate service on a leased basis to wireless carriers for their cell towers, advertising operators for their outdoor displays, power companies for their renewable energy units, and data storage businesses for their data centers. Also, Landmark recently began leasing a neutral host smart pole designed for carriers and other wireless operators. The company has essentially no maintenance capital exposure and owns property rights, real property interests, in difficult to replicate major population centers. The partnership results in most of its revenues from so-called Tier 1 tenants, which are large publicly traded companies with national footprints. And as a result, shares currently yield over 6%. Next, we have Enbridge, a Canadian oil and gas company that's another high dividend stock, and it's number 9 on the list. They operate in liquids pipelines, gas distribution, energy services, gas transmission and midstream, and green power and transmission. Enbridge is one of the largest pipeline operators in North America, and its vast asset footprint serves as an incredible competitive advantage, as it would take many billions of dollars worth of investments from others if they wanted to be able to compete with Enbridge. The stock has nearly a 7% dividend yield, and the company has increased its dividend for over 25 consecutive years. Hey guys, go Canada! Number 10 on the list of high dividend stocks to check out in 2021 is Altria Group, a tobacco giant known for its Marlboro brand. It also has a wine business under the St. Michel brand, and it owns 10% of global beer giant Anheuser-Busch. More recently, Altria has targeted 2 additional product categories for growth: vaping and cannabis. Altria owns a 35% stake in e-cigarette maker Juul and a 45% stake in cannabis producer Cronos Group. The company is also rolling out its own heated and vapor products such as Marlboro Heat Sticks and IQOS, both of which are slowly being expanded across the United States. The company has increased its dividend for 50 consecutive years and currently yields an incredible 7.3%. Enterprise Products is number 11 on the list, a master limited partnership that has increased its unit holder distribution for 22 consecutive years. The reason for Enterprise Products' impressive distribution growth is its incredible assets. For example, it owns 50,000 miles of pipelines that transport natural gas liquids, crude oil, natural gas, and other refined products. Enterprise Products also owns storage assets with 260 million barrels of natural gas liquids, petrochemical, crude oil, and refined product storage capacity. It has another 14 billion cubic feet of natural gas storage capacity. The company also has a healthy balance sheet to protect its distribution and a credit rating of BBB+ from Standard & Poor's and Baa1 from Moody's. Guys, these are among the highest ratings in the MLP space. And of course, the dividend is currently yielding around 7.6%. Number 12 on the list of high dividend stocks in 2021 is yet another tobacco company. British American Tobacco is one of the world's largest tobacco companies, and they own many tobacco brands such as Kool, Benson & Hedges, Dunhill, Kent, and Lucky Strike. The company also acquired the remaining 48% of Reynolds American Tobacco that it did not already own. In 2020, British American Tobacco generated revenues of around $35.6 billion. The company has generated strong growth in its new categories, reduced risk products, where British American Tobacco has been able to expand its market share. The company expects constant currency revenue growth of between 3 and 5% for 2021, and mid-single-digit earnings per share growth. This should cover the company's 7.6% dividend payment. Magellan Midstream Partners LP is a midstream master limited partnership, and they're number 13 on the list. MLP's system consists of 9,800 miles of pipelines, 54 terminals, and 47 million barrels of storage capacity. The company has paid distributions for 20 years and has never cut its distribution. They expect a distribution coverage ratio of at least 1.1 for 2021. Magellan is in the midst of a 750 million unit repurchase program and repurchased $277 million worth of its units in 2020. Importantly, Magellan's balance sheet is in good shape. Magellan also has a strong credit rating of BBB+ from Standard & Poor's and Baa1 from Moody's. The company also does not face a bond maturity until 2025, which helps secure its high dividend yield, currently around 8.1%. Now folks, before I get to number 14 on that list, remember that promo code I mentioned before? Well, because you're watching this video, you can go ahead and use my coupon code, FIM41OFF, to lock in savings of $41 a year and get instant access to the newsletter with a 7-day free trial. I also went ahead and left you a link in the description below. Alright folks, so number 14 on the list of high dividend stocks is AGNC Corp, a company that's especially attractive to income investors. Not because of its 8.5% dividend yield, but because AGNC is a monthly dividend stock. Yes folks, it pays a monthly dividend. AGNC is a mortgage REIT. And what does that mean? Well, it means that it invests in agency mortgage-backed securities. Further, it generates income by collecting interest on its invested assets, minus the borrowing costs. It also records gains or losses from its investments and hedging practices. The majority of their investments are fixed-rate agency mortgage-backed securities, and most of those have a 30-year maturity period. The current monthly dividend payout of 12 cents per share represents an 8.5% annual dividend yield. And remember, dividend payouts can be volatile with mortgage REITs. However, AGNC's dividend payout appears to be sustainable at the current time. And last but not least, MPLX has the highest dividend yield on the list. They're also another quality MLP. Beyond midstream storage and transportation, MPLX also has logistic assets and offers fuel distribution services. MPLX has 3 major projects in logistics and storage. It also has 2 separate processing plants under construction that will each boost capacity by 200 million cubic feet per day. Their distribution payout of $2.75 per unit as of July 2021 represents a current yield above 9%. And that makes it a very appealing dividend yield for income investors. Wow, folks, that was quite the list. Now, do you own any of the stocks I talked about today? If so, let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you like them, don't like them, because I love interacting with you all. In the meantime, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That way you'll never miss one of my future videos. Thanks so much for watching, folks, and I'll see you soon. Bye now.